on in. Jump on in. Let me talk to y'all for a little bit. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Come on in. Come on in. Sam Williams, you tripping, man. Sam Williams, you tripping. Come on in. Now, what I wanted to do, but the resources just aren't there to do it. I wanted to, pull up on the TV. I wanted to pull up on another device or something like that and just have the all right music playing in the background, but couldn't get it done. We got to do what we got to do. Come on in. Come on in. Will still had to take care of some business. We're going to let him rock today. Shouts out to him. He'll be back for practice, though. Shouts out to Will still. But come on in. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. Come on in. We can also recap practice while we're here. Come on in. Come on in. What y'all doing? Where we at? 147. That's a cool little place to start. That's a cool little humble beginning. That's a cool little. Come on in, y'all. We got some things to talk about. And I might be under the weather, so pardon me, but we're going to boogie. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this Sam Williams thing and how it pertains to Doran, Armstrong, and Isaiah Land. Because, boy, as soon as Voch try to kick somebody off the team, boy, they just find a way to just hang on, don't they? We'll talk about it. That's just the force center behind me. Something like that's just Oxnard behind me. Same about that. We'll talk about it. We can also talk about a handful of things that we saw in camp too. So please, come on in. We got some. All right. All right. When we get to 200, we're gonna get started. All right. All right. How do you get arrested on a gun charge in Texas? Crazy. But come on in. They don't even want to know what's in this case. They don't want to know what's in that holster right there. Just crazy. Come on in. Is anybody gonna be at practice tonight? Is anybody gonna be tuning to 105.3 The Fan tonight? Me and Will still gonna be in studio. 8 o'clock, chilling with Reg and KG. Tap in. All right. We're at 207. I think that's enough. Let's just get started, man. Let's run a handful of these topics by y'all. We're not doing nothing else. So we're gonna start with this Sam Williams thing because this is breaking news. Actually, Shannon Sharpe has officially signed to the volume. Okay. Now, what does that mean today? It don't mean nothing today. Will it be, does that mean that Shannon Sharpe gonna be here in the near future? Could be. He could be in the near future. Let's see. Do I have a hell yeah? Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Small little cough. That ain't my name. All right, cool. Here we go. Shannon Sharpe has signed to the volume. That's top tier stuff right there. My list of co-workers just constantly get bigger and bigger. Appreciate you. Sam Williams has been arrested by Frisco police. I've been in Frisco for a couple days. I ain't seen no police. I ain't even seen no police out here. But I don't know what it takes for you to get pulled over by the police out here. Especially in a place where you don't even really see police out here. Sam Williams get pulled up. I know weed is apparently decriminalized in Texas, but that don't make it legal. It's decriminalized, but that don't make it legal, right? And there's no telling how much Sam had. Sam may have had pounds in the pounds in the trunks. Sam may have been um, coming from the plug house. We don't know. We don't know. Sam had weed in the car. Sam also had a gun in the car. Now, y'all know Voch. Walk on. I got this bad cough, y'all. Give me 2 seconds, please. There we go. Y'all know Voch. Y'all know Voch, and y'all know Voch in Texas, and hey, Sam Williams have a gun in the car because Sam Williams just happened to be gun under the seat guy. I support Sam Williams being a gun under the seat guy, but you can't have gun and weed in the car. You just can't do it. You can't have guns at the bar. You can't have guns while you're drinking. So it's just certain things that you just can't, just certain things that you can't do. So Sam is in some trouble. Now, if we hearing it today, that means the Cowboys knew about this a week ago, right? And we're just talking about some of the things that can trickle down from this situation, can trickle down from this from this arrest of Sam Williams. Do I think that Sam is going to miss like real football time? I don't know. Do I think the league is going to suspend Sam Williams? I don't think this is conduct detrimental to the league. This may be conduct detrimental to Sam's sponsorships. This may be conduct detrimental to Sam's personal money, but I don't think this is conduct detrimental to the whole league. Sam didn't hit nobody. Sam didn't physically hurt anyone. Sam in jail, but ain't like he was sentenced to anything. Sam just bailed out, whatever, boom, boom, boom. I feel like there's another situation recently where somebody kind of went to jail and they bailed out and they just kind of like kept playing while their case was pending. I think like that's a thing that's been happening. The unfortunate thing is we were all waiting on Sam to make the next step. We were all waiting on Sam to make the next step. We were waiting on him to make that leap and to be that guy. The thing about Sam being that guy was, in my mind, Sam was going to be the guy that unlocks Micah Parsons, because if Sam can unlock Micah, then Micah can move everywhere. And Sam would unlock Micah by being a full-time right defensive end guy that can pass rush and can stop the run. Doran Armstrong wasn't the best at stopping the run. Just even me being in Frisco, being at Cowboys practices, that's the Force Center right there where they had Cowboys practices. I was in there yesterday. Just being around, just being in the vicinity, I was just hearing some rumors, just hearing some words about some things. And hey, maybe Doran Armstrong's run defense, left a lot to be desired. You know what I'm saying? It left a lot to be desired. And maybe Dorans didn't like that. Maybe Dorans didn't like that. And it's interesting that we didn't see Dorans do a whole bunch. Like, we didn't see Dorans really standing out this preseason. We didn't see Dorans do very much in camp. I just didn't hear anything about Dorans. Now, when you listen to me and Will Steele, we talk about loud camps, we talk about quiet camps. Doran Armstrong's had a very quiet camp. We haven't heard nothing from him. And Doran Armstrong is for some reason bubble wrap for the preseason game. Now, when I listen to when I watch Doran Armstrong and I just evaluate the type of player that Doran Armstrong is, Doran really ain't the dude that's good enough to not be practicing. And to not be playing in the game, right? Like they bubble wrap guys for a reason. They're bubble wrapping LVE. Keith said that Doran Armstrong was hurt. That's false. No way. We made it up. He may have been hurt for a little bit, but he ain't still this hurt. Like, Doran is good to go now. Doran is good to go. But we ain't been saying it. And Doran really is not nice enough to not be playing preseason. I know why Micah's not playing in preseason, or D Law is not playing in preseason, or Tony and Dak and all these guys, Trey and Gilly and CD and Cooks. It makes sense why they're not playing the preseason. But why is Doran's not playing the preseason? Doran's don't make sense. Tyler Biadasz is not even playing the preseason. But I don't think Doran's is nice enough to not be playing preseason. You know what I'm saying? And then we get all these trade rumors coming out about Doran Armstrong. Like, hey, maybe they're preserving Doran's to keep him healthy so they can be able to trade him to go get an offensive lineman. I get it, bro. Like, bro, I get it, but at the end of the day, Doran Armstrong, we might need you. And I don't want to say that because I'm really like stick to my guns guy, right? Like I'm really big on Sam really taking this next leap. I'm huge on Sam taking his next leap. But if Sam can't stay the hell out of trouble, then what do you want me to do? The one thing I at least say about Dorrance Armstrong, his ass reliable. Dorrance may not be as good as a run stopper as Sam Williams, and Dorrance may not have the best pass rush ability or pass rush ability, that's on par with Sam Williams. With Sam. But the one thing I can say about Dorrance that he play, he reliable, he shows up, and he's available. And I ain't saying that Sam Williams is not, but throughout his inconsistencies, his rookie year, the car wreck, smacking the hell out of Brock Hoffman, and now this little mess, man. Is gun under the seat guys a real life thing. Gun under the seat guys a real life thing. And one day we'll talk about player evaluation. And do you want a trouble guy if they're talented, or do you just want the guy that's not as talented but he's always available for you? We're gonna talk about that one day. But like I said, the Cowboys knew they know about things way before we know about it, right? So we found out today on a Wednesday. Today Wednesday. If we found out today on a Wednesday, that means the Cowboys knew last week. I'm assuming that the Cowboys knew last week. And if they knew last week, Dorrance has been practicing. Pardon me, Sam. Sam has been practicing. Sam has been moving around. Sam has been out here, kicking it, moving and shaking with the guys or whatever. Sam seems to be doing Sam things, right? It doesn't look like Sam is in so much trouble or he's about to do some Fed time or some shit, right? Like Sam doesn't look like he's in so much trouble that he's not going to be available for you. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I don't think that's going to be a thing that we have to worry about. But we've been talking about Super Bowl, man. We've been talking about Super Bowl. We've been talking about this team being the best possible team that we've built in a long time. And just the one thing that you just don't need is Sam Williams with weed and a gun in the car. And it's Texas. You can have a gun in the car. You just can't have guns and weed in the car. Or guns and liquor in the car. You can't have that. Yesterday on this show, we talked about the idea of Isaiah Land, right? Like, he's a dude that's further down your depth chart, but he's a big future guy, right? Future. Like, Isaiah Land may not be a right now guy, but Isaiah Land may be a future dude. You know what I'm saying? But Isaiah Land is a guy that you can't just put him on practice squad because somebody's going to go get him. But he's a dude that may not help you right this second, so you really may not want him on your 53. You definitely don't want him on your 46. But probably not a he's a 53 roster guy that's probably not going to suit up on game day. But you look at, like we got guys like Dante Fowler, right? Isaiah Land's not good enough to be Dante Fowler just yet, but one day he could be. This is the problem. I was totally ready. If what we was going to do with Dorrance Armstrong, I was totally ready to possibly make a call, get a legit offensive lineman, move on from Dorrance, because that's what it feels like they're doing. It just feels like we just bubble wrapping Dorrance. It feels like we're going to bubble wrap Dorrance, send him off to somewhere, get an offensive lineman back, and Isaiah Land was going to be the dude that gets to reap the benefits of having a spot on the team or having a spot to where he's not fighting for, defensive end work. But boy, this Sam Williams thing makes things difficult. So we're just going to have to keep our eyes on it. We're just going to have to wait around and see what the business is. If Sam Williams misses any time, then Dorrance Armstrong has the leverage, If Sam, I would love for Jerry Jones to just show up with a pocket full of money like Cameron on Rap City and just count the money while he's having a conversation with the Frisco Police Department. Like, hey, man, let's just cut all this out. Sam got something to do. Sam got a job to help us do. Let's just go, Hopefully that'll be a thing that we can get done. If Jerry and the boys can reach out, if Jerry and the boys can reach out and do something to actually, let me do this. Orange fan. Here we go. And thing about Dorrance too is, it's not like I'm just ready to move on from Dorrance. Dorrance is kind of like a Michael Gallup type guy for me. In this situation in particular, what I mean by Dorrance being a Michael Gallup type guy is that I'm not trying to move on from Dorrance or Gallup. It just happens that there are pieces that are valuable. Like in a trade situation, they'll be valuable, but it's dudes behind them that's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So Gallup ain't as good as Lamb or he's not as good as Lamb or Brandon Cooks to where he's just untouchable. And I think the same thing about Dorrance. Dorrance isn't, you know, as good as D Law or Micah. But boy, Jalen Tolbert coming to get Gallup, and when you look at Dorrance, hey, Sam Williams coming to get Dorrance. But the problem is Jalen Tolbert's not getting himself in trouble while he's catching Gallup. Sam Williams has gotten himself into trouble while trying to catch Dorrance. It is what it is, my guy. I see some people in the chat calling Sam Williams a bust. That's false. No way. We made it up. No way. This one was invented by a writer. No. Yeah, y'all cut it out. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Sam's not a bust. He's just messing up. You know what I'm saying? Sam's just messing up. Anyway, a couple of notes from practice that we saw yesterday. Mike McCarthy and Schottenheimer were always talking about building a foundation and working off of that, and creating different looks off of foundations. Me and Will Steele were, and y'all need to check his show out in the morning, A to Z Dallas on YouTube, 8:30 to 10:30. We were looking at some install period where they were putting together these different motion packages, right? I've heard people call them like an orbit motion or something like that, but that's where a receiver, they'll come in and motion in front of Dak and end up behind Dak, right? And me and Will were talking about the possibilities that you could pull out of that formation, you know what I'm saying, or pull out of that set of motions. Like if this quarterback, Tony's next to me, and there's a wide receiver that's motioning to really end up right here, but he's really going behind me. You can run triple option stuff. You can run bubble tosses. You can run regular read option stuff. You can run speed option stuff. You can run RPOs. You can get that going in the run game. And we saw a whole bunch of that. You know, Turpin was a guy that was into the motion. Brandon Cooks was a guy that was into the motion. CD was a motion guy. Deuce Vaughn was a motion guy. You know, and the one thing that I noticed is all these guys that were the motion guy, that they were fast. They could pretty much run. We didn't do that motion with any tight ends. We really didn't do the motion with Gallup or anything like that. We did this motion with the runners. Like Rico Dowdle didn't do any of the motion. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something we need to look forward to in terms of what's going to be like some of the base fundamental stuff of this offense, right? And we already know the basic West Coast functions of the offense, but hey, we're gonna add some other things just to keep guys on their toes. And I think this would be a good way just to get auxiliary players involved into your offense, right? Like, hey, if Turpin can't get it done on a wide receiver level, we need to find a way to get Turpin involved. We need to find a way to get Deuce Vaughn involved if Tony's going to be running back one. Speaking of Deuce Vaughn, work on Deuce Vaughn's so different, bro. It's a handful of guys that are just so different when you watch them. You can watch Deuce on TV. You can watch Brandon Cooks on TV. You can watch, CeeDee Lamb on TV. All of these guys, especially Tony Pollard. You can watch these dudes on television, mira la television. And you be like, oh, man, they run fast. But, man, when you see these dudes in person, man, these dudes is flying, bro. These dudes is flying. But speaking of which, right, I'm up here looking at Deuce Vaughn, and the more Deuce Vaughn touches the football, it just get more and more clear. It gets more and more clear that this dude has to be one of the guys. Moses Ramirez says, you right there at the start? It's right there. It's right there. Win the Omni, my guy. Appreciate you. It's clear that Deuce Vaughn has to get the football, bro. He has to be a part of this offense somehow. When I was watching Deuce, I was like, man, you know how this is going to end up going. Deuce isn't running back two. Rico Dowdle is running back two, but Deuce is like a 12th starter. I've talked about the 12 starter theory or whatever. But on defense, right? What it's really going to be is Tony's your RB1. Deuce Vaughn is some type of RB1B, and Rico Dowdle is going to be your RB2, right? I can see Deuce Vaughn being on the field with Tony. I don't see a world where Rico Dowdle is going to be on the field with Tony, but I can also see Rico on the field with Deuce. You see what I'm saying? We saw some 21 personnel stuff. Pardon me. Yeah, cool. I saw some 21 personnel stuff. some 20 personnel stuff. Basically having two running backs on the field at the same time. And I feel like when people were, when they wanted to get into these 20 looks, these 21 looks, they wanted, or just two back looks. I feel like they wanted to see I felt like they wanted to see Tony and Zeke on the field when they wanted to see these looks. And that's, that was the thing, but anytime Zeke got the ball, I just didn't see burst out of him. Right? So some people wanted to see Tony and Zeke on the field at the same time because of some type of thunder and lightning type deal. I never saw this world where I wanted Zeke on the field with Tony Pollard. Because I felt like Tony, and this was actually by some numbers. Bobby Belt posted these numbers one time. Tony was actually a worse running back with Zeke on the field. Tony was just much better when he was on the field as just the sole alone running back. He was just the guy. So that's one thing. But Tony and Deuce on the field at the same time is going to be something totally different. Tony and Deuce on the field at the same time is going to be something totally different. So one thing I think needs to happen in terms of like an acclimation period. One thing that needs to happen in terms of an acclimation period is we need to get used to throwing the ball to Deuce Vaughn because he's short. Deuce Vaughn a little bitty, right? So the idea of having to throw the ball to him and and the ball not be overthrown, that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? When you see Deuce, like he'll be in the slot and he'll run like a little bubble thing and we'll throw the ball to him, but the ball will be kind of high and Deuce had to jump up to get it. Deuce is a fantastic receiver, but the ball got to be right on him. You know what I'm saying? Deuce ain't really got a catch radius. Deuce ain't really, he's not jump ball guy in that way. He's jump ball guy in the way that, he has to catch the ball somehow. Like he has to go up and get he has to go up and receive the ball somehow. But the problem with it is that, hey, we just can't be wasting plays like that, right? So Dak threw the ball like a little high for Deuce one time, but hey, Dak pulled Deuce to the side and was like, boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. And they just talked about it for a little while. They just figured it out, They just, hey, Deuce, boom, boom, boom. So also too, there's this play, and whenever this comes out and my volume guys do the little edits or whatever, there was this one play where Dak handed the ball off to Deuce, and Dak had to hold the ball like real low for Deuce. Like he caught the snap and he held the ball real low for Deuce, for Deuce to be able to get the carry or whatever. So I thought that was fun, but that's just something that you're gonna have to do. That's something that you're gonna have to do to get Deuce involved because he's clearly one of the best running backs on your team. So it is what it is. Jalen Tolbert had a cool little day. He got going with the ones and the twos. Whenever Dak's throwing the ball to anybody, they seem to be a little better. But when Cooper Rush throwing the ball to Jalen Tolbert, it's really a party out here. Two more things. I can wrap this thing up for y'all. Well, Dak had a pretty good day, and then there's two more things I can wrap up for y'all. Trevon Diggs, man. I think people need to stop looking at Trevon Diggs as if he's just some type of, as if he's only a playmaker, but he can't cover. You know what I'm saying? We can't just look at Trey Diggs as a dude that, well, yeah, he's gonna give up 1,000 yards, and even that's false. Even that's made up. Even that's nonsense, right? We can't look at this world where we just don't look at Trey Diggs as a cover guy. Trey Diggs is a cover guy. He just happens to also be go get ball guy. He just also happens to be ball hog guy. When you see Trey Diggs in these red zone clips, in these red zone coveraging clips, and I think this has a lot to do with like Gilmore just being like a type of just some type of like mentor for him, some type of big brother, some type of coach guy for him, right? To just help him through the process. And you just see Trey a lot more patient. You just see Trey recognizing routes a little better. Plus Trey got arm length. You know what I'm saying? Trey got arm length to where, even if you do maybe get a step on him, he can make the adjustment and just, give it a good swipe. Then there's the ball skills on top of that, man. Trey was so impressive. Me, Wood, still our nation. We were sitting in the corner watching Trey do one-on-ones down there. Come on, man. It's top tier stuff, man. Top tier stuff. One last thing that I think is very important. The young guys. We're talking about young offensive line right now. So what's happened with the offensive line, right, is we saw Josh Ball, Awesome Richards, and TJ Bass, right? We saw the combination of those guys just moving around all day. But there was this team period at the end. It was like ones versus ones. And we saw some of the older veteran players off to the back jogging and shit, right? Now, what that means to me is that the old dudes are trying to condition themselves and they're trying to stay in shape and things like that, while not trying to get hurt in regular practice, right? So Zach was out there, D-Law was maybe out there, and Tyron. So there was a hole at left tackle and right guard. And Will still told this story earlier, so y'all please go watch him. They called for the first team offense. Awesome Richards came out at left tackle. TJ Bass came out at right guard. And they ran many first team offensive plays with TJ Bass and Awesome Richards in there. And it was fly. And it was gangster. And I loved it. Because I like Awesome Richards and I like TJ Bass. And I especially like TJ Bass more than the other dude. And when did the other dude come out? Other dude came out when they called for second team offense. Right? So how it looks, the pecking order, how it looks right now is Zach Martin, TJ Bass, Josh Ball. That means Josh Ball might be getting cut soon. Work on. But we got one more preseason game, man. We got some stuff to go through. We got some things to figure out. We'll cross that road. Voch, you still going live with Sky at 3? No, Sky is handling. Sky lives in Dallas, so he just had to do something like 30 minutes away. So he just had to go back to the crib and do some personal things. But Sky's gonna come back and we're gonna watch practice, and we're gonna be on 105.3 The Fan tonight at 8 o'clock. So be sure to tune into that. Y'all have any questions before I go? Y'all have any questions before I go? Got any questions before I go? We're going to do this interview with BLS also. And listen, man, if y'all got some if y'all coming to practice today, man, walk up and say what's up to us, man. We met some cool people yesterday at practice, man. They walked up, they gave us a yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it was dope to see people at practice yesterday tap in with us. So be sure to walk up and say what's up if y'all see us out there. But we're gonna be gone by 7:30 because we're gonna be trying to get to the radio. How was Bostic? Bostic looked like an athlete, but you know, he's still young. He's still young. Any other questions, y'all? Any other questions, y'all? Any other questions, y'all? He's unhinged and a liability. Sam kind of wild. Am I staying for tomorrow's practice? No. How the linebacker look? So, the whole linebacker thing, man. Mike McCarthy was talking about it was Wanye Thompson or something. Like it was one man. Wanye not playing no damn linebacker, man. Marquise Bell is the guy. Marquise Bell is the guy that's going to come in and do linebacker things sometimes. And I think the okay thing about this, I think the okay part about this is that you don't need him to be full-time linebacker for you because that's Van Der Esch and Damone Clark's job. You know, I think that's what they do. That's their thing. But just a guy that's like linebacker depth or come in sometimes to do linebacker things, I think that's Marquise Bell. Now, Will made a fantastic point this morning. He was saying, hey, but Marquise Bell can do linebacker things, but that doesn't make him a linebacker. I totally agree, 100%. But the one thing that I can add to that is, you know, when we was looking at Overshawn was going to be doing coverage things. He was going to be doing side-to-side, you know, sideline tackling things, and Overshawn was going to be doing pass rush things. He was going to be doing all linebacker things. You know, Marquise Bell may be a blitzer, but I don't see Marquise Bell like pass rushing or nothing like that, like full-time pass rushing or full-time dealing with guards and blockers and shit like that. So we'll have to see, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with the defense. You could tell the hole that Overshawn left, but at the end of the day, if the player was worth starting, then they sitting their ass down. So we should be lining up against the Giants week 1 at full starting strength. As far as the depth guys, we'll see. All right, love y'all to pieces, man. We'll be giving y'all some more content later. We'll be re-releasing these things with some more clips on them, and we'll take some more clips from practice. All right, y'all hold down for the Dosky, wasn't a piece of whiskey. Till next time, Shannon Sharp is part of the team now. Volume.